Venom: The Last Dance was directed by Kelly Marcel and it stars Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock, aka Venom. And this movie takes place after the events of Venom: Let There Be Carnage and after the post-credit scene for Spider-Man: No Way Home. And this is the final chapter of the last two Venom movies. So in this movie, we have Eddie Brock and Venom. They're now fugitives and now they're on the run after what happened in Venom: Let There Be Carnage. And now there's a symbiote creator in Venom's world. That symbiote creator is named Noel. He's really pissed, and now he's sending out these creatures called the xenophages, and now these xenophage creatures are after Venom because Venom has something that Noel needs, and now we got our movie. Now, I'm going to say this right off the gate. I was kind of looking forward to this movie, to be honest. But I did see, when I saw the trailers for this movie, I said, okay, at least the trailers kept things very vague and didn't give anything away. And when I heard negativity about this movie, I think there's some people who like this movie. There's some people who actually didn't like this movie. I'm talking about those who have seen the movie. And for me, I thought this movie was alright. But I guess there are a couple of things I like and don't like. Yeah, I guess there's some things I like, but there's things I don't like. But starting off with a little bit of the positives, this movie was alright. Now, I did enjoy some of the last two Venom movies. Like, I did enjoy the first one. Just a little bit, but it was alright. The second one, which was Venom: Let There Be Carnage, which I liked a lot more than the first movie. And with this one, I feel like this one was fine. But like I said, there's some positives and negatives that I like and don't like about this movie. But I did enjoy this movie quite a bit, but it was okay. That's all I can say. So with that down, let's talk about the actors and the characters themselves. Starting off with is Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock. Now, Eddie Brock in this movie, him and Venom, I really love their chemistry of how they work together as a team. They have excellent conversations. They do have some jokes or some serious moments back and forth. But Eddie Brock and Venom, they're now fugitives. Now they're on the run after what happened in Venom: Let There Be Carnage. And now they're being hunted by this xenophage creature, which is mostly, Venom is being hunted by this creature. That because he has something that Noel needs. But Eddie Brock does have some really interesting moments in this movie, but there's some moments where he does take things a little bit more serious, but there's some, I think there was some, I guess he has some really interesting jokes in this movie, so that's all I can say. But like I said, I think him and Venom work together pretty well as a team, like they did in the last two movies. So that's all I can say. And Tom Hardy is really good as Eddie Brock and Venom in the last two movies, including in this one, and that's all I can say for Eddie Brock. Next up is Venom, which I think he's voiced by none other than Tom Hardy himself. Now Venom in this movie, he's being hunted by this xenophage. If you don't know what a xenophage is, a xenophage is this I think in the comics it's a creature that hunts down symbiotes. So I'm like, whoa, at least they bought this from the comics and bring it into live action. So, which is pretty cool. And now Venom is being hunted by this thing. Yeah, he's being hunted by this xenophage. He's being hunted by xenophage creatures that came from his world because Noel has something called the Codex that could possibly, maybe, release Noel from Venom's world. But didn't happen. But all I can say is I want to thank Venom I'm really going to miss Venom so much. But the biggest problem I have with those last two Venom movies, that Venom doesn't have the spider symbol, the big spider symbol that, he always has in the cartoons and the comics, and never happened in the last two movies, including in this one. And I was like, I wish Venom actually had the big spider symbol that he had in the comics and the cartoons, and it should have been in live action. Like, come on. But got nothing. But I am going to miss Venom so much. So Venom, thank you so much for this journey from the last two movies. We're going to miss you so much. So that's all I can say. So, and Tom Hardy, was really good as Venom, and I do like Venom's chemistry that he has with Eddie Brock. They do have great conversations, but the problem I have with Venom that there are some times where he's not taking things very seriously, which I wish he does. But he does have some good comedy. Don't get me wrong. There's some jokes I laughed at in the last two movies, including in this one. But there was one joke in this movie I'm just like, oh my god, seriously? But no, that's all I can say. And Tom Hardy was really good as Venom, and that's all I can say for Venom. Next up is Chiwetel Ejiofor as Rex Strickland. Now, Rex Strickland, I think he's in the army, but I think he kind of discovers about these symbiotes. And I'm like, I wish you people give us an explanation of how do you discover these symbiote creatures. But they didn't really touch much on him in the trailer. All I know is he's after Eddie Brock, he's after Venom, and that's it. And he'd probably be up to no good. And that's all I can say. And Chiwetel Ejiofor was okay in this movie, but I guess there's some moments I like and don't like about him. But I thought he was okay. But he was really good as the character of Rex Strickland. But Rex Strickland, I feel like his character didn't really give no craps whatsoever. But that's all I can say. And that's all I can say for Rex Strickland. And last but definitely not least is Juno Temple as Dr. Payne. Now, Dr. Payne in this movie, she does have a flashback, well, mostly a backstory in this movie, but in the second trailer, I think there was a quote in the second trailer where she did say that the symbiotes didn't come here by accident, they're being hunted by something or someone or something like that. But I'm like, I don't know how you discover these symbiotes in this movie with no explanation whatsoever, without telling me and the audience the explanation whatsoever. There's no explanation of how they know these symbiotes pretty well. I don't know. And that's all I could say. And Juno Temple, in my opinion, as Dr. Payne, I think the actress and the character was really good in this movie, but I guess there's some things I just wish she was helmed up a little bit better, but I do respect her for trying. But that's all I can say for Dr. Payne, and that's it for the actors and the characters themselves. So let's talk about the action sequences. There's some really interesting action sequences in this movie. Now, there's some action sequences. So there's some action sequences that I like and don't like, but the only thing that I do like a lot more is the final fight scene. All the final fight scenes from the first Venom movie and Venom Let There Be Carnage. And this one gets me hyped up. So I was like, yeah, the final battle scenes were the only things I love about these movies. These are the reasons why I love the final fight scenes in any Venom movie, where he's fighting off the main villain, who turned out to be symbiotes, I know. Like in the first movie, it was Riot. In the second movie, it was Carnage. In this one, it's mostly just xenophages that are after him, and that's it. And I'm like, that's it? That sucks. But that's all I can say. The action sequences and, well, mostly the final battle is awesome. Now, I want to touch base on Noel real quick. Noel is not in the movie all that much, which kind of sucks. I guess they're probably saving him up for the near future, maybe. But the only thing, excuse me. Now, the problem I have with Noel, he isn't in the movie too much. I did hear from what I heard for the first time, I thought he was going to be the main villain. But in this one, it turns out I heard he's not going to be the main villain in this one. And I'm like, why isn't he the main villain? You promised, and I said, I hope you promise that Noel is going to be the main villain in this movie. And it turns out he's not. He's not. And he does look pretty accurate. Yeah, he does look really accurate to his comic book counterpart in Into Live Action, which is pretty cool. And that's all I can say. So the thing is that, one of the things I liked about this, now there are a couple of things I liked about this movie and didn't like, but one of the things I kind of liked, I didn't really like and did like about this movie are the jokes. Some of the jokes did land for me, but some of the jokes didn't. Yeah, like I said, some of Venom's jokes did land for me, but there's some jokes that didn't. I think there was like one or two jokes that didn't land for me, and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Yeah, you have got to be kidding me, though. Yeah, like I said, I guess some of the jokes could have been better. But the rest of it, I think the editing and the pacing didn't feel rushed at sometimes. Like, I guess there's some things in the trailer that wasn't really necessary, that shouldn't have been put in this movie. And I'm like, are you serious? Like the whole Las Vegas the whole Las Vegas scene wasn't necessary, honestly, but that wasn't necessary, to be exact. But the editing, like I said, the editing and pacing, it doesn't feel rushed at sometimes. I guess they were trying to get to the main point of the movie, which I'm fine with, but as long as they take their time. But there are sometimes they do take their time, and there's sometimes they kind of rush things through. And that's all. And there are some visual effects I like and don't like, but I guess there's some that kind of felt green screen-ish, and I was like, I wish the visual effects were helmed up better. Like, the visual effects on Venom and Venom, the Xenophage, and Null does look pretty cool. But I guess there's some visual effects in Venom's world that could have helmed up a little bit better. But they did well with some of the visual effects, but they could have helmed it up a little bit better. But for the rest of I think for the rest of this movie, but I guess I guess some of the plot details, maybe there was some major plot details that's been going on that kind of mixed me up a little bit, and I was like, okay, what is this about? I understand this is about Eddie Brock and Venom, and I understand this is about Eddie Brock and Venom that's on the run, not just by the Xenophage, but they're being hunted by Rex Strickland and his army. Yeah, because they're after Eddie Brock because they have Venom. And for Venom, on the other hand, he's being hunted by the Xenophages because he has something that Noel needs, and that's it. And I was like, I'm a little confused. I thought this movie was, but no, it is about Venom and Eddie being on the run because they're being hunted. So that's all I can say. But for the rest of this movie, I thought it was okay. I guess the rest of this movie did land for me, and there's some things that didn't land for me. But I guess there's some rest of this. I guess this is the final time we ever see Venom. I'm really going to miss Venom and Eddie Brock's chemistry. I'm going to miss these guys so much. So I want to thank them for the journey from the last two movies. And for this one that they had ever give us. I'm going to miss their jokes, their chemistry, their team up. I'm going to miss them so much. Everything they have done from the last two movies, including in this one, I'm going to miss them so much. So I guess that's all I could say for the review for Venom: The Last Dance. So there's nothing much else to say. So be sure to like, subscribe, press notification. So make sure you like, subscribe, press the notification button, follow me on Instagram, and comment down below. And I'll see you in my next video. And thank you for watching.